In today's production, I go to Baxter, Cookeville, Allgood, and Monterey to see some speeders that came from Nashville and it's going to Monterey. Now, unfortunately, I didn't start in Nashville like I was hoping because that would be very early in the morning. And they weren't coming through Baxter, which was my first rail finger location, until 1 p.m. So around 11 p.m. today, I decided to go to Crab Orchard before even going to the Nashville and Eastern Railroad, so I got these two videos. In Crab Orchard, Tennessee, there's two unique things besides the Hoist North America Railroad. Those being Hoist North America 3999, the part source B23-7, still in Norfolk Southern paint, and the original Nashville and Eastern dump car. And as you can see, it's original because it actually has the original reporting mark, that being NERX, not NERR. When they first started, their reporting mark was NERX, but now they're NERR, or since 2018 they're actually RJ Corman technically, but some people still call it Nashville and Eastern. So here's two unique things I thought I would show y'all. So about a couple minutes ago, I made a video about 3999 and the Nashville and Eastern dump car. So but a unique thing is this is not far from the official Hoist site. In fact, it's actually right here. There's the sign. So not much is happening. You can't see it, but the new high hood, the GP48 high hood, is actually there. But you can clearly see 4023. And there's also a bunch of hoppers here. There's even some hoppers on the very far up track. There's the loading site, I believe that is. And if you keep on going down here, you can see a lot more hoppers, including a very short Tennessee Central trestle bridge. And when I mean short, I mean really short. It's not even as long as these hoppers. Here it is right here. We got some crossbucks on the left side of the road for some reason. And down here we got not one but two tracks of hoppers. So it's mostly these grain hoppers that's used to carry limestone, but there's also a handful of these black and yellow open hoppers. So on the other side of the tracks, we can see some ties painted red and yellow to indicate that's what the tracks said. Because only a month or two ago, there was actually a hopper that derailed here. And in the following you're gonna see is what we just saw earlier, but on the other side. So I believe all these are just the former grain hoppers. There is some old rail here. and a lot of unique metal trash. Got some sort of pipe thing. This line of hoppers is actually so long it actually goes over the switch. Some more metal trash. And there we go. Here's the end. And now here's a crossing tour of Market Street, since it's a little bit unique. So first off, we have a crossbuck with a blue sign, 1-800-342-2191, with the crossing info being 846-767 and the letter C. Now, on the other side of the road, you can actually see a railroad crossing signal used to actually be here. Concrete base and some sort of metal base. And a Sun Chips can. What the heck? So yeah, here's the wires. I believe these wires would specifically go to the lights. Now if we cross the tracks, the hoppers on both sides, you can see the second unique crossbuck. And like the other one, it's actually on the left side and next to the Welcome to Crab Orchard sign. So I believe it's the same information. 1-800-342-2191. Crossing information 846-767-C. Yeah, I believe it's the same. And then on the other side of the road, where these crossbucks should be, we have the older concrete base, but this time it's actually intact. Heck, even the bolts are still on here. I believe I could take these off. Oh, I can, but I'm not going to take these home, because that's not a good idea. So here's what it looks like inside. Here's the wires, and here's a giant stone. And I'm going to come back over here to show y'all the Welcome to Crab Orchard sign, which is currently decorated for fall. So yeah, there's pretty much everything about the Hoist North American Railroad, specifically in Crab Orchard, Tennessee. I hope y'all enjoyed this really unique video I made, and I'll see y'all in the next one. And don't forget to watch the other video I made about $3.99 and the Nashville and Eastern dump car I made. That's down there. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. I arrive at Baxter around 11:50, so at this point I would only have to wait around an hour and 10 minutes. Now unfortunately, the speeders were actually a little bit late, so I did have to wait about 2 hours, but I was able to get to a good rail fanning spot to catch these. And about 30 minutes after I set up, they finally come, with a high rail waiting them. Also, one more thing before I actually do start showing off the things, I do want to give a quick shout out to Trains, Rail, and HO Scale for being the only person I've actually met in person at this event to chase these little speeders. I only got to see him once in Baxter. So yeah, here's a shout out to this guy. Well, I can subscribe to him.
I'll wait till the crossings go.
They probably won't.
They don't want nobody crossing.
kids can ride. That'd be cool though.
decided to chase them to the Cookeville, Tennessee Tech Bridge, where I would get this shot of them going over the bridge. After waiting a little bit, I decided to move away from the area, and as I was walking away, I actually hear the rest of the speeders coming my way, so I quickly set up next to an old industry, and I was able to get this shot of the last few speeders. All of the speeders at this point are in Cookeville, just now leaving Cookeville, going to Monterey. Now here's the thing though. No train has passed Cookeville since 2021, so the next few videos you're going to see are going to be very unique videos because this is the first rail traffic that the towns have seen for the first time since 2021. And I do want to mention, one of these do derail off camera, which is the reason why they take forever to come. Here we go. Apparently a derailment happened while this was happening, so that's why they took forever. After that, I go to Western Monterey, because at this point, like I said earlier, any trackage past Cookeville, Tennessee is trackage that has never seen a train since 2021. So I went to this very unique street to get this very unique shot. But here's the thing. Apparently, the speeders were on a time limit, and the time limit was very close to ending, so they actually stopped here to listen a bit. So, what would happen is, they are going to stop here, but they're also going to be going to the next crossing over in a minute or two.
next cross is bigger for me. Is it? Yeah. We're gonna go one more crossing up. Okay. I'll let Dan know. And then, okay. So he needs to be able to get permission to come back. No, you're fine. But you're welcome to go across if you want to.
After that, I was able to get a lot of unique pictures of these speeders, such as a horn on the 40 East Coast one, and even an N-scale NS-1072. Here's a quick video showing how the people turn around these speeders. "15 minutes later, I returned to Allgood, Tennessee to get another shot of him passing Main Street, Allgood, Tennessee. And for the final shot of the day, I decided to set up at this crossing next to the propane place in Cookeville, Tennessee. But the unique thing is, as soon as the high rail comes by, the railroad crossing signals actually activate for some reason for about 20 seconds. Well, that's all for today's video. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all in the next one.